everybody, this is another episode of Hard Hat Legends, and today I have Mr. Ron Bogart with Gold Mechanical, and thank you so much for taking your time to be here today. So we're just going to jump right in, and I'm going to start asking questions. Okay, First one, when you were a young man, what did you want to be when you grew up?
When I was young in school, I didn't have a lot of choices because I wasn't very good academically. I was clever, but I wasn't very good academically. So they knew that I wasn't college material, and I was raised on a farm.
Okay.
And so we did row cropping and beef cattle, and we had a feeder pig operation. And my plan was just to be a farmer.
And just to take over the operation?
And well, maybe. I like the row cropping.
Okay.
I like tractors. And so that was actually my plan. And so that was the path.
Okay. Now, did you grow up around here, or?
I grew up about 80 miles from here. It's up on the Kansas line in Vernon County.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. What made you choose construction, since you didn't stay in the farming?
So where I was raised, when I was raised, a small town, like population 200.
Oh, wow.
And so there was a technical school, and back in the day, you could go to Votech for your junior and senior year for half a day. And so they figured that that was going to be my path, and it worked out for me because they had a diesel mechanics program up at Nevada area Votech school.
Okay.
And so I went in, I signed up. They have this day where they take the sophomores up in the spring, and you figure out what you want to be when you grow up. And so I went up, signed up for the diesel mechanics program because I thought that'd be a competitive advantage as a row crop farmer, right?
Right.
Be able to work on my own gear.
Yeah.
Because that's one of the biggest expenses is,
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You know what that's about.
I mean, yes.
Anyway, so somehow I got separated from the group, which was kind of my mode of operation, which is why I wasn't the best student, as I'd go do things on my own. So I'm walking down the hall of Votech school, and I look over, and door was closed, but there was a glass door. And I look through, and I see my uncle standing at a lectern. Well, I knew I had an uncle that worked up at Votech, but he was a farmer too. Like, I would help him out when, he was running behind on planting and everything. I knew he worked at Votech, but I didn't know what he did.
Yeah.
And sign above the door said air conditioning and refrigeration. Well, he feels me looking in the room, so he looks over there, stops the class, walks over, and you'd have to know my Uncle Kennan. He was built like a soda machine, right? So he walks over and he opens the door, and as any good uncle would say, "What the heck are you doing here?"
Right.
And I said, "Well, they got us all up here touring around," and as he's talking, I'm looking past him in the room back at the lab in the air conditioner refrigeration area, and he notices my gaze, and he says, "Does this interest you?" And I said, "Well, it's a lot cleaner than the diesel shop." That was all I said.
Yeah.
And he said, "Well, if you're interested in getting off the farm, I could get you off the farm." He said, "Now you'd have to pay attention, but I could get you off the farm." And I never thought about doing anything other than that until that one conversation. And I went and scratched my name off diesel mechanics, signed up for air conditioner refrigeration, and that's how it started.
That's awesome. I love that story. Yeah. And you didn't know that your uncle was doing that at all?
You know what I knew? All of his tractors that had cabs, the air conditioner worked.
Oh, gosh.
I never helped anybody else out in my family that had a working air conditioner, but if they said, "Hey, Uncle Kennan needs you to come disc for a couple of days," I'm like, I'm on it, because I knew his Massey had a working air conditioner.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was my only clue.
That's so funny. And that's cool how that was a God thing, actually. Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah. Okay. So obviously you went to school to learn your trade. That was my next question. So you did that your junior and senior year? Well,
and I need to be careful about this because I don't want to undo the validity of my diploma.
Okay.
But my uncle kind of cheated the system.
Okay.
You're supposed to go junior year and senior year.
Okay.
Well, the end of my junior year, he got me a job working for a mechanical contractor in Nevada.
Okay.
But they also did electrical. And he determined I would learn more working out in the field than I would in his classroom.
Totally agree.
So my senior year, he said, "Show up a couple of times a week, but if they've got work for you, keep working. I'll just mark you as attended." I ended up probably going to school 5 days that year.
Oh my goodness.
I just worked my senior year.
Okay, that isn't even the way it goes today.
I know, it's
That's
not the way.
crazy. But I actually talked to another gentleman a couple weeks ago in his interview, and that's how he learned, because he's an electrician. You know, working alongside his dad, and I'm the same way, hands-on, that's how I learn. I'm not, I mean, I can't get it out of a book. I have to watch you do what you're doing, and that's how I can get it.
And that's what he determined. And they have competitions for, at the time it was Vocational Industrial Clubs of America, or VICA.
Okay.
And so my senior year, he sent me to competition just to see how I do. Well, I won district, so I ended up going to state.
Oh, that's amazing.
And I was third in the state
Yeah.
that year. And where I got beat, though, was on the written test. I killed it out in the shop in practical application. But there was a couple of students from St. Louis that, you know, these guys show up in like white coveralls and all their safety stuff. It's like you could tell they were built for this competition.
Right.
I was just, it was like pulling a tractor out of the field and having them pull, you know?
Yeah.
That's kind of the mindset for me. But still, third wasn't bad.
No.
But it shows that practical experience can teach you pretty well.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, what type of construction do you do? Obviously you do
Mechanical contractor.
Okay.
Yeah.
And would you have chosen something else looking back?
So working where I did, the company I worked for, which was a mechanical contractor, but they were technically called Dahmer Electric. So if we were ever slow on the sheet metal side, I would go out and work with these electricians, and so I got to actually do both.
Okay.
And I can tell you that I know right now, if you're an electrician with all the data centers, it pays pretty well.
Yeah.
And electrical to me, and I hope nobody's offended by this, but it was easier than mechanical.
Okay.
And I like the challenge of mechanical, so I went that route. And of course, looking back, I've had a pretty successful career, so I don't think I would change it.
Right.
But if I was young and starting again, I don't know, electrical wouldn't be a bad route to go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. How has the construction industry been good for you?
Well, you know, farming's got its ups and downs.
Absolutely.
And so stability was the first thing I learned, you know. It worked out great. If this, then this. Like, if you show up to work, then you get paid.
Yeah.
And farming's not like that.
Right.
And so it provided stability for me, but it also provided access to people in the community and connections. And I like to say it's the hands you shake, not the grades you make, that determine where you end up in life.
Like that.
And I ended up knowing some really cool people. And most of my best thinking's been done by others. And so meeting some of those really cool people has helped, not just, you know, through the career, but has helped mold me into who I am and who my family is today. And it's been really neat for all of us.
I like that. Very cool. Was starting your own business something you always wanted to do, or did you kind of fall into it?
So I started my first business in 1992,
Okay.
April Fool's Day.
Okay. Just how it fell.
And it must have worked because it's still operating today. It's on its third owner,
Okay.
but it was Heartland Heating and Air.
Okay.
I'd moved to Springfield in '88, worked for an outfit down here that helped teach me what not to do. And I wanted to start something a little bit different than what was down here. So I didn't really want to start my own business. I just wanted something that didn't exist. And it was going to be primarily a commercial service company. I liked the construction, but I felt like there was better ratios as far as hours per pay going the service route. So I went that route. But there was a company that was about 3 years old down here at the time called Gold Mechanical. And so Dwayne and I were working together out on jobs. He was doing the water side of things, I was doing the air side of things. And in '92, he was wanting to go full service HVAC, but he didn't have a service department. So he subbed out to me early on.
Okay.
He actually tried to hire me back in 1992 to come develop and build a service division for him. I'm 23 years old, I'm self-employed. The last thing I wanted was a boss.
Right.
So what I did is from 1992 to about 2002 is Dwayne would use me on projects he needed. And if I had something more than what I could handle, I would throw his way. He would loan me labor sometimes. In 1994, I had bit off more than I could chew, which young business owner, especially when I was 25 at that point. He loaned me enough manpower. I had more Gold Mechanical guys working for me than I had Heartland Heating and Air employees at one time to help get me out of a pinch. So we had this little back and forth thing, and it was just one of those, back to the question about starting the business, it wasn't like, oh, I want to be an entrepreneur. I just wanted something different, and I had him kind of help You know, it was a good relationship for both of us.
Okay, good. What is your favorite part of your job?
It's evolved over the years. When you're early on, you get a real dopamine kick getting stuff done, especially getting stuff done that nobody else could do. And I was pretty good at what I did, and that's why I was pretty successful. I got a real kick out of getting projects done, handing the keys off to somebody and saying, now it's yours. Today, my kick comes from getting people done. Now, people are never done.
Right.
There's never a time you can hand off the keys.
Right.
But you can leave them better than you found them. And so the American Management Association used to say their purpose was to get work done through people. What I like to think about is getting people done through work. We use the work we have as kind of the playing field,
Right.
but it's developing talent. And that's probably the big kick I get out of these days.
That's good.
Yeah.
Okay. What is your advice for a young person in the industry that wants to become a leader or a business owner?
If they're in the industry already, my advice is to be really good at solving problems.
Okay.
Like, find a problem that nobody else has been able to solve, and you figure that one out. Because if you want to be a leader or a business owner, you got to be a little extra bright.
Yeah,
And if you don't have that, you got no business trying.
absolutely.
I mean, there's a reason why more businesses fail than make it. Is it's not for everybody,
Right.
and not everybody's cut out for it. But if you're a little extra bright and you're good at solving problems, and you can solve a problem that nobody else has been able to figure out, then that's kind of the litmus test on whether you should be doing that or not.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, you've seen
It's not
it, right?
good. Oh yeah, it's not good when something's just handed to you. So
Right.
no, I totally agree.
Yeah.
Who are some people in the construction industry that you respect and why, and what sets them apart from others that you know?
I'm going to give you quite a few people.
Okay.
I've got a couple of people that are ahead of us, like the old retired Hall of Fame kind.
Yeah.
I got some current people that I guess you would consider in our cohort, and then some up and comers. So I'd have to start with Dwayne Gold.
Okay.
He was just part of the Lifetime Achievement Award class last year at Springfield Contractors. And he's won, I mean, he started in 87. And he was able to build the largest mechanical contracting company in Southwest Missouri. And he really didn't come from a business background. It was just he knew how to work. And he knew how to turn that execution of getting things done into the management side of things. And
Yeah.
he was able to create something pretty special.
I've heard some very good things about him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tom Gammon's another one. I don't know if you're familiar with that name.
No.
He's been around for a long time. He was involved a lot on Bass Pro projects. I think he still is finishing. Well, he's been retired for a long time, but they keep pulling him back in, and that's also an indicator, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, when
Yeah.
they won't let you go, when
Yeah.
they're begging you to come back.
Yeah. That speaks volumes.
Yeah, but when he and I connected, this is going to probably sound a little backwards, but he was working for Killian, and I had just started at Gold, and I wanted to manage a couple of projects just to see what our project managers went through. And they happened to be projects down at Big Cedar. And at about halfway through, Big Cedar decided to change general contractors,
Oh,
which those are typically unhappy times,
Yes,
right?
yeah.
Well, Tom was working for the GC that was getting terminated. But the way he handled that was such class and calm and poise. You could tell he'd been down the road a long time. He'd been involved in a lot of projects. And this is just, sometimes something happens, doesn't align. He's like, he did everything he could to set the next GC coming in up for success.
that's amazing.
And that says something about somebody's character.
Absolutely.
And so I've always kept him pretty close, and we talk from time to time, but he's a good one.
Wow, that's incredible.
The current class, there's a guy named Sean Tuvino. And I know this is a sponsored group, But
You're
seriously,
kidding.
I don't care what GC was doing this, his name would be on that list because he's good people. And he's the kind of guy that Tom is too, you know.
Yes, yeah.
If Sean ended up in that situation, he would do right by everybody.
Yeah.
There's one thing I know about Sean. Every meeting I'm in with him, it's either going to be productive or it's going to be entertaining.
Yeah, it's usually
And
both.
sometimes it's both.
It's
And those are
usually
my favorites.
Yeah.
But I can always count on that.
Yeah.
And he doesn't even have to be leading the meeting, but if he's in the room, it's
Yeah.
going to go better. And so he has the ability to do that. I also respect G.R. Stovall
Yes.
an awful lot.
Yeah.
You know G.R.?
I do.
Yeah. He's helped me out beyond just the construction world. And that's kind of the way he operates too.
Yep.
He wants to make people better versions and help them be better versions of themselves.
Absolutely.
And so
Yeah.
those are the two currents that I feel privileged to get to work with those guys
Yeah.
on a regular basis. Up and comers, there's a guy named David Baxter that works over at Killian.
I've actually heard that name.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's a dandy. He's extra bright, good with people, got good experience already.
Okay.
So he's going to be one to watch. And then I've got a lady I'm going to throw in, Jalen Hill. She is actually, it's going to sound a little biased, but she's up from the county I was raised in. She teaches in the construction management program over at MSU. She was a project manager for us for a while.
Okay.
And she has a talent of getting things done. And I think if she ever steps out from the podium and gets back into the construction industry, she's going to be a good one to watch.
That's amazing. Good.
Yeah.
I love hearing that, especially for women. Absolutely.
No,
good
she's
deal.
a good one.
What do you think we can do to get more young people interested in the construction industry, whether it be a trade position or many of the other positions available?
I think knowing that it's not all work all the time, because there's a leadership and management gap in the construction world as too, just
Yeah.
like anywhere.
Right.
And I think young people in the trades that are extra bright need to step in and start filling some of those roles, because construction's asked to do more than we're actually tooled up for, but we're still able to figure out a way of getting things done. And, not everybody is built for management.
No.
I had a lead project manager. He was thinking about applying for a VP spot we had. And I knew he didn't have the capacity, and I think he kind of knew it too in the end. And so he said, he came to me on a Monday after thinking about it all weekend, and he said, I think I figured out that my job here is not to ascend at the highest level inside of the company that I can, but to help people I work with ascend to their highest level.
That's incredible.
And I said, that's pretty intuitive of you.
Absolutely.
And then he had to ask me if that was a compliment or not, because he didn't. but you get the idea.
Oh, yeah.
So I think if we had more of this mindset, if we would champion each other
Yes.
instead of trying to beat each other.
Yeah.
Because I think the construction industry is probably about as close as that gets right now, but we could do better.
I agree. Totally. So recently, we just became an ESOP at Branco.
That's what I understand.
Yep. And Sean and I were talking about you guys. I didn't realize you had been an ESOP since 2014. So that was pretty cool. So how was that process, and did everyone buy into it in the beginning?
That process was challenging, and the answer is no.
Okay.
I remember when we rolled it out, and that was actually part of my reason for coming on at Gold Mechanical.
Okay.
I took about a 10-year break from construction, which is interesting too. I started 40 years ago in construction, 15 years in construction, took a 10-year break and worked in other areas, including academia.
Okay.
I taught at the university level, which again, remember, I wasn't a college student.
Yeah.
And I just got my doctorate last year. So
Congratulations.
Thank
That's
you.
amazing.
So once I figured out how to study, I just kind
Yeah.
of kept doing it. But I took a 10-year break, and in that period of time, Dwayne had come to me and said that he wanted to take the company employee-owned, but he just needed one person to really pull it together. He had a great team, so I'm just missing that one person. So I spent a couple of years trying to help him find that person, and he and I both failed at it miserably, but for some reason it was my punishment to go in and be that person at the end. So he and I both had to figure this out. And when we rolled it out, most people didn't know what it meant.
Right.
But we had to do like 4 different onboarding meetings because our meeting room couldn't hold everybody. We were running about 150 at the time. And I had one plumber stand up and say, what if you don't want to be part of it? You still want to work at Gold, but you want to have nothing to do with the ESOP. I said, that's super easy. We've got an ESOP portal, and we'll just log in together and just put me as your beneficiary. And then whenever something happens to you, your stock will roll to me and everything will be good.
Yeah.
Well, he didn't like that answer. So I was kind of shaming him in front of the crowd, but you know, sometimes that's how you have to communicate
Absolutely.
with the trades guys.
Yeah.
He became one of our biggest advocates about 5 years after that.
Really?
But it takes time.
Because he had to figure it out.
Well, he had to see the stock certificates.
Okay.
Once he realized there's something there and you have some people actually leave and they're actually just sell their shares, because at first they think, wow, this is a scam.
Right.
But then when people are actually getting money for it,
Yeah.
then that's kind of where the rubber meets the road.
Okay.
And so even now when we're recruiting, we don't use ESOP as a recruitment tool. It's just something we say we are.
Yeah.
Now, if you've got people that are in management, I've had 2 people come to us because we were ESOPs. They'd
Okay.
worked at ESOPs in the past, and they got it. My CFO and a lady that works in our HR department, they came and sought us out because they were looking for an employee-owned opportunity. But the young guys that are coming up, they don't know. But
Yeah.
when they see the guys that have been there 10 years and they're flashing their stock certificates
Yeah.
when we have our annual meeting, then that's when they really start to get it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're hoping that that's the case for us as well.
Some problems only time will solve.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Has employee ownership spiked growth and excitement in your company? You kind of touched on that.
Yeah, it didn't again
Yeah.
at first, but I think it has been a pretty good retention tool for us. So we've been able to grow our workforce when most people have had problems with that.
Yeah.
And if you have the manpower, you have the market.
Absolutely.
And so when I started at Gold, we were a $29 million outfit, and we just broke $70 million last year.
Wow, that's incredible. Congratulations.
So we've been able to use that. I don't know that there were several things that went into that growth. It's just like, it's never one thing.
Right.
But ESOP was definitely a part of it.
Yeah. Wonderful. Okay. Well, thank you so much, Ron. I do appreciate it. Thank
This
you
was
for your
fun.
time. Yeah, I have actually enjoyed doing these and getting to know people
I'll bet.
and learning more, because
Yeah.
I only hear what Sean tells me. So
Which you can only believe about half the time, right?
absolutely. Yeah. You've met my husband. So yeah. But thank you so much.
bet.
Thank you all for watching, and we will have more coming down the road. Thank you.